You already know.
Most curses don't concern merely individuals, they concern families or larger communities. And the essential feature of both curse and blessing in the Bible is that they go on from generation to generation to generation unless something happens to cut them off. I've discovered in counseling people that one of the deepest wounds of the human heart is shame. And there are many different causes, but one very common cause in our contemporary culture is in children who have been sexually abused in childhood. And in America they estimate that's true of 1 in every 4 children in the United States today. And it leaves a scar, a shame. But thank God we don't have to stop at the problem. We've got the solution. And I have helped many people. Jesus endured your shame that you might share his glory. Now, if there's only one of these, I'm not saying for sure there is a curse. But if there are several of them, and if they are found in your family in different areas and in different generations, you can be almost sure that there is a curse. Here they are. First of all, mental and emotional breakdown. Second, repeated or chronic sicknesses, especially if they're hereditary, because the hereditary is the indication of the curse. Third, repeated miscarriages or related female problems. 4. Breakdown of marriage and family alienation. If there's a history in your family of falling apart and splitting up, and it goes on and repeated, you can be sure there's a curse over that family. 5. Financial insufficiency. If it continues. All of us can know insufficiency at certain times, but if it's persistent and we never get out from under it, you can be almost sure it's a curse. 6. What they call accident prone. I'm naturally prone to accidents. And this is an objective statistical fact which insurance companies take into account when they assess your insurance premium. And 7. In a family a history of suicides or unnatural deaths. Because you did not serve the Lord your God with joy and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. That's God's will, but the alternative for the unbelieving and the disobedient. Therefore you shall serve your enemies whom the Lord will send against you in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness and in need of all things. Take those 4 statements. Hunger, thirst, nakedness, need of all things. What is that in one word? Poverty. That's right, absolute poverty. You can have no greater poverty than that. Being hungry, thirsty, naked and in need of all things. When a person is delivered, Job said, I will lift up my face without spot to God. Many times we're not aware of the secret bondage that haunts us. But the release from every bondage is provided through the cross. Rejection and acceptance. And here again in ministering to people I have come to the conclusion that rejection is the deepest wound that the human heart can bear. A mark of rejection is that such a person always feels on the outside looking in. Others can get in, I can't. Another mark of rejection is the inability to express love. John says we love God because he first loved us. I believe we can't express love if love has never been expressed to us. It takes the expression of love to release the expression of love. And the commonest single reason why so many in our contemporary civilization carry the wound of rejection is the attitude and conduct of parents. Listen, if your parents failed you, there's a lot of things we can't change in the past. But your relationship to God we can guarantee. You see, Jesus did not die of the physical effects of crucifixion. When Pilate heard he was already dead he was surprised because normally he would have lived maybe 2 hours longer. What did he die of? He died of a broken heart. What broke his heart? Rejection. By whom? By the Father. That's right. For the first time in the history of the universe the Son of God cried out to the Father and the Father did not answer. Stopped his ears, averted his eyes. Why? Because Jesus had been made sin with our sinfulness and God cannot look upon sin with favor. Jesus endured our rejection, and immediately after that he gave up his spirit and the first thing that happened was the temple veil was torn in 2 from top to bottom. It was extremely thick. Human beings couldn't have torn it in 2 even from the bottom, but it was from top to bottom because it was the affirmation that God had done it. That was the veil that separated unholy men from a holy God. And when Jesus endured our rejection God gave us his acceptance as his children. This is all made possible by Jesus Christ.